So the first thing I'm going to do is to give the entire canvas a coat of acrylic medium. This can be gel or liquid, matte or gloss, it doesn't matter, it's just to seal the pores of the canvas. And then I'm going to use a cadmium orange as an imprimatura, that is a layer of paint to tone the canvas, colour and tone the canvas. And it's much better to paint on a coloured ground than it is onto the white of the canvas. Now I've got a hairdryer to dry that off completely, because I want this to be completely dry, and then I can get a small brush and then I can start putting in some of these relevant little details that I don't want to lose as I paint over and around this subject. So it's a 1/4 inch flat nylon brush. It's an old worn one. I don't think I've got many brushes at all that actually come to a point anymore. Just one or two that I use for little details here and there, because that's what this painting is going to be all about. Just one or two little details, mainly on the beak and the eye, around that head area, because that's where I want the viewer's eye to concentrate. So I've now changed over to my 1 inch bristle brush, flat brush. I'm putting some really bold reds in here. It's going to be a very, very abstract background kind of a painting. I'll put some darks in there as well. Like that, very loose and random. Because this painting is going to be basically all about bold shapes and bold brushwork. So I'm going to get a darker colour now and just put in this branch that the bird is perched on. So just loosely putting in some of these little twigs into the branch there. And the bird is basically going to be, it's a black bird, obviously a raven, but it will have a little bit of colour in, but most of it is going to be quite dark, set against a light background. And I'll show you how to do the light background in a moment. First of all, I'm just putting in these basic shapes of the bird. Still with this 1 inch brush. And if you look in the description below, you'll find links to this brush, and all the other items that I use can be purchased via those links. And if you do use those links, it helps to support me and my channel and helps me to keep bringing you these videos. So a little bit of a bluey grey now into those background colours. I can go a little bit darker towards the bottom, so that it blurs those outlines of the branch a little bit more. And then once I've cleaned the brush, I can put in these lighter areas around the bird. This is where I want the highlights to be in this background, because I want the bird to really stand out against that background. It's going to be a really quite messy, abstract background with just bold brushstrokes. Now, the shape of the bird is changing slightly as I go along, but I will alter it later on. I'll just keep adding little layers and changing bits and pieces here and there until I've got it exactly as I want it. Okay, I'm going to put some red into the bird here as well, just to echo those colours in the background and harmonise the overall tonal quality of the painting. Now, a little squirt of water, and then with my silicone tool, it's a painting tool, but it'll also blur and blend these colours in a beautiful abstract way. And that's all I need to do there for the moment. Then while the paint is wet in that bottom right hand corner, I'll just scratch my name, my signature into the painting, as I usually do at this point. Now this is a silicone painting tool, again, a bit more like a brush. So you can pick paint up with it and apply it and move it around, very much like the silicone tool I was using. But this obviously has a handle and is more like a brush. So if you're more used to painting with something like this, then by all means use something like this, because it produces wonderful abstract marks. That's all I'm interested in at the moment, is putting in some of these abstract marks. Let the paint break up naturally by applying it loosely. That is, gently. If you apply it gently, then it will break up in a lovely way. Okay, I'm just putting some bluey greys in here just to give me an idea that the bird has a three-dimensional form. It's not a black silhouette. These are little areas where the light is just catching parts of this bird. So it's going to catch some of the wings there, some of the little wing feathers. I'm not painting individual feathers. I'm painting in a broad and bold style, making each brushstroke bold. And that's what you have to do when you're painting this kind of work, is learn to paint fearlessly and bold with those brushstrokes. Put a brushstroke down, leave it. Don't try and go in and blend it and make it nice. That's not what this kind of painting is about. It's about being bold. So it's certainly something you need to learn to do, because it's not easy. If you're coming from the background of perhaps painting realism and detail, it's a very difficult style to get to grips with. But you will get to grips with it if you keep doing it and practicing. And that's how you get better at doing this kind of work, is by practicing. No one ever got good at something by not practicing. You have to keep at it. And eventually, it'll come out right. It'll suddenly click and you'll think, oh, this is a nice way of painting. And it is. It's enjoyable. To paint loose and bold like this, very, very enjoyable. I'm going to alter the shape of the bird's head and beak later. It's not quite right. So as I progress, I will alter the shapes until it looks correct. And that's the beauty of acrylics, of course. You let one layer dry, and then you can carry on with another layer over the top and rectify any mistakes if you need to. So I'm just putting those darks back in again now with another layer over that dried layer. This layer is now dry for me to paint over the top of, but it does actually take a little while to dry because I'm not using water with it. Only when I needed to move that paint around in the background did I spray a little bit of water. All this is direct from the tube and squeezed into those little containers you see down at the bottom of the palette. So there's no water, and if you don't add water, you'll find the acrylics will stay wet for a reasonable amount of time, allowing you to merge different colours together. Not finally blending. I mean, you can do that, but again, that's not what this painting is about. It's about spontaneity and energy. And you get energy in a painting by using those bold brushstrokes. Now, I'm just dabbing a little tissue there onto the palette. I'll just get some lighter colour there, and then dab this crumpled tissue or kitchen roll into that, and then just apply it as a means of applying variations into this background, and it creates interest. It creates interesting marks. I can add some darker ones as well. In fact, I'll just get a little bit more of that dark there. That's it. And then pick some of that paint up and just apply it here and there until I'm happy with that. Now I'll get some lighter colour once again onto that tissue and apply it a little bit more closer to the bird. And it doesn't matter if I go over the top of the bird accidentally, and just wipe it away like that. Wet your finger if necessary and just wipe the paint off. But sometimes it's nice to let some of those little areas spill over into the bird so that it creates almost like a softer edge to the bird. And the bird should have soft and hard edges. It shouldn't all be hard edged. This is one mistake that a lot of beginners tend to make. If they're painting something, every part has to be hard edged, and it doesn't. let it soften here and there, let it blend and merge into that background. It looks so much nicer and so much better. So a few more of those little brush strokes there. This is a very cheap brush. It's a bristle brush and very, very cheap, and it just does the job. You don't have to pay a lot of money for brushes. Okay, just using the tool again just to blend and blur some of those paint marks I've put down. And now using that smaller brush again, I'm just putting in some really bright cadmium oranges. I'll put some here on the wingtip as well, in between the red and the lighter colour. And perhaps one or two little marks down here, like that. Just suggestions. Suggestions of feathers and whatever. And I'm also going to do the same into the branch here and around the feet. I'm not going to paint those feet detailed or individual toes. It's just representational. If I started going to, into detail on those toes, it would look so out of place with the rest of the painting. The only place I want the detail is in the beak and the eye and around the face area. And that's all. Just put a few little highlights onto that branch here and there now. You can see how I'm just putting one or two little dots and dashes, but it brings that to life without me actually painting all the way along that branch. Just put some little lighter areas into this wing here now, and onto the edge of this where the light's really catching that. Okay, it's very, very bright. This is straight from the tube, so it is very bright. I'll just go with a grayer colour now to put in the basic shapes again around the face where the light is catching the beak and around the face. So you should know a little bit more about the anatomy of a bird if you're doing this kind of thing, and if you're making it up like I'm doing here. Because people do ask me, can you show me your reference? Well, I don't use any for this. I may use several photos to go off, but I don't actually copy anything. It's all made up. And a background, you can, like this background, I've got an idea for a background, but I do an abstract version of that. And it just seems to work. And if you are going from a photo, then there's nothing wrong with painting from photographic reference at all. And I would suggest, if you're in the early stages of painting, to do that. But try not to copy it slavishly. In other words, detail for detail. Do things with it. Change things about. Change the colours. Change shapes of some things. If that branch was a different shape, make it into a shape you like. So just putting in some of the darker tones, changing the shape again of the head, making sure it's correct. Put a few little stray feathers in there. And that's looking a little bit better shape now on the back of that head, where it meets the nape of the neck. A few little dashes of lines here and there, just to give the impression of wing feathers. And now I'm going to put a few little light areas into the beak and the face. I'll just put some little highlight areas here. They will dry slightly darker as it dries. And a few under there and on the actual face. And then I'm going to put in the lower eyelid, like that. And then I'm going to use another light to put in the highlight on the top of the eye, just there. And then that brings the bird to life. Just that one little touch of light. And with a dagger brush now, I'm just going to put in some little branches and twigs coming from this bough that it's on, this branch. And then a few little touches here and there with the same brush. It's a good brush. You can do all sorts of things with it. Just making sure I've got these areas the way I want them to be. Now, again, re-establishing the darks, where I want those darks to be darkest. because the more layers you put on, the darker it will go. And then a few little lines to show some stray feathers here and there. And when that's done, that's the painting finished. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and hopefully found it instructive and entertaining. Let me know if you have any comments or questions that I may be able to help you with. And I hope you can join me on my next painting video. So until then, have a lovely day and happy painting!